Pick a card, any card, go on, do it. We love random when we're playing games. We also love random, we must use random when it comes to mathematics, when it comes to scientific experiments. And yet when it comes to business and running our lives, we completely ignore random because we have this notion that random is a loss of control. Seth Godin even suggested using random as an alternative way of selecting our elected officials. Now, with the 2020 US presidential elections very close in everyone's memories, you think, well, maybe there could be perhaps a better way. Now, this is not about politics and elections, but it's to show how random can be used in a number of ways. Now, in this particular instance, the suggestion is that what you do is you ask people to request that their hat goes into a ring, basically, that their ticket goes into a draw. And so if you're interested in being an elected official, you throw your name in. Now, what then happens is that out of all of the names selected, one is randomly picked out, and that name is the name of the person who's then going to be the elected official, whether it be a president of a rifle club or a dog grooming club or a president of a country or a prime minister. Now, it might sound like a little bit crazy talk, but when you think about the advantages that come from random, it starts to get a little more compelling. So let's have a look at them. The chosen person won't think themselves as being special because their name was just drawn out. So their ego's going to not have a space in which to grow. The people who have lost the election won't have any animosity because it wasn't a perceived skill or anything that got them there above the person who lost. It was just that they were randomly drawn out of the hat. It's quick, it's inexpensive, and it's incorruptible. It also allows you to get talented introverts into the ring because all of a sudden they're not going to be quashed by the big booming personalities and the great orators of the like. It's very rare to get a great orator to also be a great leader. So in that way, the introverts now have a space. Now also, and this is probably one of the most interesting benefits and the awesome ones, is that you get 50-50 representation between men and women. You also get all ethnic minorities in the mix. You get every single slice of the population represented with equal chance to any other. So you're no longer going to get this 90-10 male representation or the middle-aged white guys running everything. So all of a sudden you've got equal cultural mixes and societal and demographic mixes. Now, the downsides. Well, what are the downsides? Well, you think, well, what if a dud's chosen? Well, that hasn't happened, has it? We have never chosen duds with our current electoral systems. What about the perceived loss of control? We can't control things, can we? Well, what can we control now anyway? Is that really such a big deal? So that's about all I can see as a negative. So let's apply that to our business lives. In business, you sometimes have the choice of choosing between 2 or 3 people for a promotion or for some special job. And you agonize over which one should I choose, how will the other feel. Do it random, tell them, hey, there's this position up for grabs, throw your name in there if you're interested, and then we'll publicly draw the name out of the hat. And all of a sudden, your problem is solved. Now, you're not going to select any old person because you're not going to select someone who's not qualified to be a surgeon to be a surgeon. You still have an initial selection process, which could be qualification based, could be based on a number of things. But then once that's selected, you ask people and say, hey, you're in the group of people that are qualified to do this job. For elections, it could be citizenship, for example. So now you're free to put your name in if you wish to. So then they've thrown their names in, whether it's 3 people or 300 people, doesn't matter. Pull the name out and you're done. I'm using random more and more in my business, and I'll let you know how it turns out. I'm Stephen DiPietro. Thanks for tuning in.